Sister.
Hey girl, hey. Let me guess, you got a word.
Sure do.
I'll meet you at Bayroom.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Hi everybody, I'm Deja.
I'm Elisa.
And welcome to Bayroom. I'm here at Bayroom. We speak all things Black love, Black relationships, Black friendships, what's making us, what's breaking us, and everything in between. So if this sounds like your jam, please like, comment, and subscribe. And follow us at bay.room on Instagram.
Yes.
And welcome back if you've been watching. We love you.
What are we getting
Hey,
into today?
Today we're going to get into some things. We're going to talk about trust and commitment in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like for you? What does that mean? And some examples. So for you, Elisa, I wonder, can you have friends of the opposite sex in your relationship, just to get us started?
Yeah, I don't though. I think, man, I wish I had some bros. I have. So my closest guy friend is gay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have all of my straight friends that were males have fizzled out, honestly. Like I have acquaintances, I have people that I used to be friends with that were still cool, but like real solid bros, like guy friends, I don't have any of them, to be honest with you. All of them have shot their shot.
That's what I was going to say. It's so hard to have real, authentic male friends that have not shot their shot. Even the ones that survive past doing that, right? Like they do that, doesn't work. And then they travel with you on your journey of life. But like, I don't have any male friends that have not shot their shot. I don't have any now at all, but like they've all done that. Yep. And I wonder if that contributes to why you're not here presently. And because even if you shot your shot and I turned you down, that ego thing might be there, even if you're still my friend. So I just wonder, in the male mind of those that were my friend, does that contribute to
like I don't
why
think
you're not
that
here?
we can be I don't think we can be real genuine friends just platonically, especially if I'm choosing. It's one thing to be single,
right,
and to have these friends, but like if I'm in a relationship, for me personally, I can't be friends like authentically with you if you shot your shot. Like it's just I'm always going to think about that. Like I'm always going to think in the back of my head like you want me.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because in the two relationships I've been in, they've both told me that you can't have male friends. First of all,
that's a rule that they've established.
No, not a rule, but it's just not. It's very, very rare.
Oh, that you can't, like they observe.
Like it's just
Okay.
Not an observation, but it's just like 9 times out of 10, any of your male friends are gonna allow you in a certain kind of way if you give them that room, if you give them that space. And that's not a real bro. Like I know very few girls, like friends of mine, who have really, like I know a couple, but who have real solid like bros, like only bros. It's very, very rare. But I wish that I had like a solid like bro figure.
I do too. I think it could be, it's some valuable things there to have the opposite sex as a true valid male friend. I definitely do agree with that.
Especially when you're in a relationship, or just in general, just to have like a balance of like perspective. It's like you need that male, that male perspective also. Just, I don't know. It also like, it's so interesting because I was thinking about, so when I was younger, I used to always want a little brother. But as I got old, I mean, not a little brother.
Well, you have,
I have a
you
little
have
brother.
one.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Avery. No, I always wanted an older brother. I meant to say older brother. I always wanted an older brother. But I did some reflecting on that, and I think it really has a lot to do with me not having a father figure.
That makes sense.
And always kind of wanting that like protector kind of energy. So I really have always longed for that kind of relationship, but it's just like, it's a no for me.
Can your partner,
especially now,
can your partner have female friends?
Yes, but he doesn't really like real female friends. I think it's weird. I think like I don't know. People are weird.
People are weird, and people have hidden motives and are very good at hiding them.
I don't trust people, and I don't think it only has to do with your partner.
Elaborate.
I think that like, yes, it starts with your partner and like them setting those boundaries and like being honest. But also, like, I don't even want to go through a situation where you gotta like set those boundaries and be honest about certain things. It's just like, I would just rather not deal at all.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
When you're dealing with attractive people too, like that's another thing to take into account. Like when you're an attractive person, like it's difficult for you to have strictly platonic relationships with the opposite sex. Especially in this day and age, like people want relationships. People always think about what ifs, and people just sneaky. Like,
yeah, that's what I can't deal with.
It's the sneaky links. I don't trust
the sneaky links for me.
Trust these hoes. I really don't. I'm not even gonna hold you. I really don't trust them.
Have you ever had an experience like that, like in the duration of your relationship, or no?
Not this current relationship, but I did in my last relationship have a situation where there was a close female friend who initially, like, I actually knew this girl before I even knew my ex. Okay. And kind of like being around her is the only reason why me and my ex even met.
Oh, okay.
And she started moving weird. Like it's so funny. It's like the typical story. Like they only talked when we were having issues. Like they were only like, they were only like, she would only like reach out or communicate like when things were off. And then when she started coming around more consistently, because me and him had gone through so much already, she was acting weird with me. And initially, like I said, like I was comfortable with their friendship because they had been friends for years, like really like, bro and sis kind of thing. But then it started to feel weird for me. Like, why are you taking, and I understand, but it's like a certain line. Like, because now you in my space. I don't care what y'all had. So when you in my space now, like I remember there was one particular time where me and him had been going through it for a long time. Like the whole relationship, we were going through it. But there was I think like we may have like broken up for a little bit and got back together, whatever case may be. But his family was my family. Like still to this day, like those are my peoples, right? Of course, there's boundaries now because I'm in a new relationship, whatever the case may be. But there's always love, right? So I'm hanging out, in on their block, with his family. He wasn't around at the time, and she pulls up just like to hang out with like his friends and stuff like that. And she didn't speak to me. And she was kind of giving me like the side eye, almost like, what's she doing here? What I'm doing here. This is my people.
Like, what are you doing?
And that's how I looked at it. It had been like 3 years or two years into the relationship. Like at this point, I had been living with his family for some time. And like, these are literally my people. And you have not been consistent in this situation at all.
Yeah, to even have a opinion.
Yeah, like you don't even know what's going on over here. And so, and so it made me feel really uncomfortable. And after that, I was like, she's a dub.
Yeah.
And yeah, she been a dub since then. But it was like an issue, like a couple of issues happened after that because of that. Like me not trusting the relationship really, because I feel like if that's really your sis, because like to be quite honest with you, like he had family members like around our age, female family members that I still rock with to this day, that I still am cool with to this day. They're not feeling no kind of way.
Right.
They're not treating me any different. And this is his family. Like this is his blood. Like these are the people that's that matter. So if they're not acting funny because they know what's up, why do you feel like you can do that?
Yeah.
And so it really made me feel really uncomfortable. And again, like this is a relationship, like a really like close bro and sis relationship. So girls are just weird.
Yeah.
People can get real territorial. Like females are territorial over female friends.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to men, I really just think that like it's really just about like setting boundaries. And I think that, where a lot of relationships go wrong is like those people don't set boundaries in their relationships and their friendships. Like if
Yep.
you have a female friend, like she can't call you certain times of the night anymore.
Yeah.
She can't, like, y'all can't be talking about certain things anymore. She don't need to be talking to you about her sex life anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, why have her as a friend? I feel like then don't just stop being her friend when I come around. Like just stop.
I
being
don't
her
want to
friend.
say that.
I'm saying it. Stop being her friend because I do want you to have an honest relationship. But if you can't because I'm saying you can't, I'd rather you just stop. I don't want to deal with it. Because then someone's gonna feel away, and what if she is that type of girl that's like, well, I'm gonna continue.
I think friends
to do what I have to
think like naturally when you get into certain relationships, committed relationships, like those types of friendships change.
Yeah.
Naturally, like
yeah,
they start to change.
Yeah, such a struggle.
But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's a no for me.
It's a no for me.
I'm just playing.
No, it's a no for me. And I haven't experienced that in my current relationship. But every time I've had like guy friends that have girlfriends, I've experienced the reverse. So I've experienced the girlfriend giving me the side eye. I've experienced all of that. You've
had a lot of guy friends?
Yeah, a ton of guy friends in my younger years. And like actual generally like good friends. Never did anything. And some shot their shot. It was so just not serious that it didn't matter. But I've been the friend where people are side-eyeing me. And I had to tell girls like, I literally don't want him.
It's happened to me one time.
Like, no.
And let me tell you, that friend was my closest male friend for years. And we were both in relationships for the majority of our friendship. And as soon as I became single, he shot his shot in a major way.
Oh.
And
he probably felt good to him.
And what's crazy is that his girlfriend did treat me funny.
Yeah.
And like, I would have never thought.
Girls know.
I would have never thought. And I don't even think like he was giving anything for her to be acting like that. I just think that she just was one of those. She was very insecure.
That's what I was going to say. They know you're that girl.
Yeah, she was just one of those girls. And she probably just knew if she wasn't there, he would probably.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was the furthest thing from my mind. And yeah, as soon as I became single, I'm talking...
Can you give an example? Like, was it flowers at your doorstep?
Girl.
Was it singing songs holding up the boombox outside your house?
Girl.
A bag. What was it?
This guy came to church with me one day.
That's
very
nice.
random. Very, very random. Like, I was on my way to church. Oh, I'm meeting up with you. Let me come with you. Came to church with me, took me to breakfast that day, after church, whatever the case may be. There was a couple other things that happened. I really just don't even want to. I don't even want to put it out there. It was very uncomfortable for me, though.
Yeah.
And he's not an unattractive guy. It's just I wasn't expecting it, and at that point, like I just did not have the same feelings. And I remember one night we went out. And he was being very possessive. I was dancing with one of my other guy friends who's gay, or who was gay, I should say. Get into that.
I need that.
And
like, that is definitely something to be said. Like,
I was dancing with one of my other guy friends, and he got really territorial. He like pulled me off of him. Like it was very weird.
Yeah, my man.
It was weird. And he was just like, listen, I have feelings for you, or whatever the case may be. And I was like, okay, we got to talk about this later.
Yeah, because I cannot.
And we never talked about it. And honestly, I think that was the last time I saw him.
Yeah.
It got really weird.
That sounds like a little odd.
It was
because the energy switches too aggressively. Like, I don't know what that is about.
It was very aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
And we had a mutual friend, like one of his best friends who I was also close with. And I will say he's the only guy friend that I had that never shot his shot with me. But I think our tie was the other guy. So like once that relationship fell off, like him fell off.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my nigga. Like he was definitely like the only guy friend that, definitely never. I'm talking like we was at his house chilling before, like I used to do music like he did. He does music, whatever the case may be. Definitely solid. And he told me one day, he was like, yeah, he was like, what did he say to me? He was like, you tight because you don't want to love him. And I'm like, that's just weird.
Yeah, no.
The switch up is weird. It's awkward and it's annoying. Honestly, I was very hurt because I'm like, why can't we just be friends? Like, why y'all gotta always feel so entitled to us in a certain kind of way? Like, even if you felt like that, like, did you not value our friendship enough to just hold that down.
Yeah.
You know?
Entitled to me now that you have the space for me. Entitled to
Bro,
me.
I was blown.
Yeah.
That was the homie.
That miss you, bro.
Facts. It's all good though.
Oh gosh, that's super crazy and like probably relatable to so many people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Have you ever felt like uncertain of the commitment in your relationship?
What do you mean by that?
Like, I don't think, when I think of this question, I think people think, this is an assumption, cheating wise, like have you ever felt, like when I think of commitment in people in other people's minds, I'm thinking if I say you ever felt uncertain of the commitment, like of like if your partner stepped out on you or anything like that. But when I think of commitment, I'm thinking, have you ever felt uncertain of the partnership in your relationship? Have you ever felt uncertain of like someone willing to carry that 80 when you can only give 20? Someone, the longevity of that, the partnership, not just the things that you can do to break commitment, but like the commitment of two people deciding to be together. Have you ever felt uncertain?
Yeah, for sure. I felt like I've definitely felt for a long time, and I feel like we're just now getting to a place where we're both like doing our work in a different way. But I've definitely felt like our differences definitely like would have broken us. Like I definitely had a moment where I felt like we would not get it together enough. And because we have a kid, it may not look like a breakup, but it will look like something else. It will look like we're both unhappy and make choices that we may not, you know, that we would regret just being, because kids complicate things.
Yep.
And it makes it difficult to just walk away.
Uh-huh.
So I've definitely felt that like uncertainty about the level of commitment in the relationship, just with all of those factors involved. Like maybe we're not supposed to be together. And then what does that look like? Like we're in such a bad place right now. Like, are we still even committed to each other? You know what I mean? So that gray area where y'all are not really rocking with each other, y'all are really going through a really bad time. But you haven't had, maybe you did throw out the breakup word, but y'all are still living together. So I think that like it's easier to navigate those types of situations when you guys don't have kids and when you're not living together.
Yeah.
But when you have certain responsibilities and when you have certain things that already kind of commit you guys, like a lease or a child.
Yep.
It makes it weird. It makes it difficult.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think that the way to really get past that is just to have like really open and honest conversations. And you know, it's work. Like it may not always be that honest in the beginning, you know, but yeah. So I think so. I think definitely like I've felt like that uncertainty just because of different, just lack of perspective and seeing eye to eye. What about you?
I think so in the beginning.
In the beginning?
Yeah, because never from his end either. I will take full responsibility for that. Because I feel like in the beginning, it was a little rocky. My partner has a child from outside of our relationship, and I had to navigate a woman that wasn't done with it. And I feel like though, while during that time I would have told you like, it's not worth it, don't do it. It taught me a lot of empathy. And we touched on that episode 1, and that's why I said that. It taught me a lot of empathy because...
Empathy for who?
For her and for him, both of them. And I felt, and I was able to learn to feel that whilst going through my own emotions. So for the commitment part of the question, I felt like I can't be committed to this. This is silly. Like I felt like,
that's valid.
Why would you, as a young woman who doesn't have anything coming in and you're like purely on your own, you could walk away with no ties. Why would you deal with this? And why would you cause yourself mayhem? There's so many things in life. Like I always say, there's so many things in life that are going to call you mayhem. Like you're going to step out, someone's going to like drop coffee on your shoe. Someone's going to inconvenience your day some way. Why would you cause your own inconvenience?
Right.
So in the beginning of the relationship, I felt like not committed. I felt in and out. I felt like, listen, at any point it gets too much, more than the too much you're experiencing, you can just walk away. That's not true partnership, but that's how I really did feel. And
what kept you there then?
The man. Never met a man like that in my life. Never met a man like that in my life. And I watched how he handled it with such grace. When you're please, you think I'm going through something. Imagine what that person's going through, what they're living through.
Right.
They have to do every day. And as a man, it is worse in a way, because
depending on the
man, because most women, not all women, get, some financial help, or they get viewed as, you're the one that had to bear the child.
Okay, I see.
You're the one that had to do the work, the hard labor and everything.
Yeah.
So while this man may go through it emotionally, you have to go through it physically and emotionally and mentally and all the things, right? Where the man is not viewed that way, I watched it from the other side. And the only thing that was separated them two was the physical. He didn't have to bear the child, but everything else he's carrying the weight of it. Okay. And trying to show up differently so that he's not viewed as, the bad man or the man that left his family or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So watching someone try to navigate those emotions while trying to be a partner to you makes you just feel like, what am I doing here? And why am I here? And I think I just need to separate and leave everybody alone. Everybody, just leave them alone. So it was a hard time in the beginning with that, like staying committed. But I think it just shines who that person is, because we overcame that because of the type of person he was. And because he didn't let like my opinions of how he should handle things. Like I had strong opinions on how things should be handled.
Like what?
Like I just felt like, listen, be a little bit nastier. Like,
you feel like he shouldn't?
I think so.
That is such a huge character thing.
And I'm glad he was not.
Up to him.
And I'm glad he was not.
For not allowing you, the person that he wanted to be with, dictate how
he handled that situation.
Because he saw the value in that relationship with his son's mother.
Yep.
That's some
and
huge
he handled
maturity.
It so gracefully that I was like, oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Because even at the end, like when it's just you and him and like you guys are talking and reflecting, that's pure. You can't fake that.
Yeah.
Because whatever's gonna not come out with that person is gonna come out with you or with a family member. So I realized that was pure, and that's what keeps you there. Like the fact that like now you're gonna build something great. This is so temporary, and it really was temporary. Luckily for both parties involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main thing, and it wasn't the commitment on his side. On his side, he's like, I'm in this, but this is what I have to deal with.
Right.
And I kind of let you know about this already, and I didn't know the extent of what it would get to until I was with you, so I can't warn you. I didn't know.
Right.
But now you know. So what is it?
Right,
and in my end, I'm like foot in, foot out, trying to navigate, but glad I stuck in there. But it was hard in the beginning because I'm like, I'm not built to be dealing with drama like that. Like I am very like short fuse, just don't see any, like I didn't have empathy then, but I've gained it in that situation.
Yeah, that's
for both people.
Yeah.
And I feel like both people, despite how one is acting worse, I feel like they are granted empathy because you don't know what they're going through.
It's difficult to see the father or the parent, the other parent, the person that you created life with in a different situation. I mean, unless it's a stranger. Like,
right, literally.
Because especially women, like most women want, that happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
So that's difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. And now having my own, it didn't take me having my own child to see that. Like I was fully aware that like, I can imagine what you're going through. Like I can, didn't really care though. Cause I feel like you don't have to be nasty.
Right.
I feel like
you don't.
Anybody that I have this thing where like, if you're going to watch my child, I treat you like gold. Even if you're like, grandma, grandpa, whatever, what food do you need? I know that what she eats. Do you have this there? If not, I'll buy it. I treat you like gold. I'm respectful of your time. I pick up whenever. So I feel like if anybody's going to be around my child, you deserve a base level of human decency.
Right.
Where I feel like some women in this world don't feel that way.
Don't care.
Where like I'm going to be around your child, and while I'll never treat a child bad or do anything malicious towards a child, it's respect who's watching your child at bare basic value. Like I just feel like that should be it, and I just feel like a lot of that wasn't extended. It's extended now, thankfully, but before it wasn't, and that's a tough split. I was in college. I'm young.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this lady like, girl, okay, like won't say my thoughts, but it's just like, to overcome that and to not be bitter about it, because you can then the girlfriend can be bitter as well. I've experienced that a little bit, real short-lived, but I've experienced that. You just have to have empathy and forgiveness and understand that everybody doesn't carry themselves the way you do. So it's silly for you to expect that.
Yeah.
And
give people grace.
Especially
when it's a situation that you have to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you could have left the relationship, but if you're choosing to be in that relationship, make it work.
Exactly. And I agree with that. I think that was a nice message.
Facts.
Yeah. Anybody out there going through it gets better. And I feel like over time, you just got to let time heal. But your partner does matter. Some of these men like don't make it easy.
But also like, I think what's important in that is when your partner is having a moment where they may not be handling something the best way, have some grace in that too. Like pick up the slack. Like don't be so hard on the person that you're with for not handling things.
It's new to them.
Yeah. And in the perfect way. Have conversations. Like, see where their mind is at. Empathize with them. And, I think a little grace is definitely goes a long way.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. How do you feel? So say in a hypothetical situation, you're not in a situation and you should thank your lucky stars. How do you feel if like your partner had a child and them hanging out with the mom or separately from you? Not a break baby either. Not like, you actually created this baby out of hate for me right now. But like just hanging out with the mom, maybe doing family stuff without you. How do you feel about that?
Ooh. I gotta picture it. Hold on. Yeah, it's a no for me.
It's a no for me.
You don't need to
like you don't need to be separate without you doing stuff. Yeah.
Unless we all go in.
Unless we all go and check the sheet.
It's different, like, birthday parties, X, Y, and Z, but you're not about to be having family play dates. And y'all are not a family.
Yeah, it's a little weird. You know what's crazy? So in the beginning of my relationship, I thought that I have to say, and don't at me, okay? I have to say, I'm okay with it.
And does that happen?
No.
That's why you're okay with it.
But
you think you're okay with it.
You know what it is? I'm gonna be raw and honest with y'all for a minute. The reason why I'm okay with it is because she's never had my position. She's never had my spot, ever.
You're just secure. No,
ever.
I feel that.
So I know for a fact, the value I add, you are not adding that. Like, you're just not. Because if you were adding that at one point, the type of man I have wouldn't have just let that go. He just wouldn't have.
I don't think so. It's not for me when I say no. Like, it's hard for me to think about it because I don't have, like, it depends on the woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It depends on a lot of different things. But, excuse me, I'm like super congested. It depends on a lot of different things. But when I'm thinking about it, I'm just thinking about, if she has I just don't see why y'all would.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? I don't see why it would have to be
like one and child together.
Yeah, I don't
get
see
that.
Why y'all? And yes, I do think that your child needs to see his or her parents together, like not together, but like
just as
healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy, but that doesn't mean that you guys need to go on family outings together. Like, they could see the communication. They can see, like, maybe the dynamic when all of the family is together. But if you're in a relationship, like, that's your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's your new family. And that's the relationship you should be cultivating with your child. But again, like, it just depends. It depends.
I think it depends too, because like.
But I think that you think you would be cool with it.
I think I'm okay. No, I'm really okay with it for that shallow ass reason of that. Like, you never had my spot, so there's nothing there for me to like. I encourage, however that looks like. I encourage that. So like, if they decided to go out and like do. Maybe after a big event. So like, no, absolutely not. That's crazy. No, but see. I think outing.
I mean, if she don't never take your spot, then what's a couple days?
In a way, like you're never gonna take my spot, but I think it's a little too intimate. What I'm thinking about is not the relationship between them two. It's just a little too intimate. Like, you're probably gonna you might share a room just for sake of like financials, right? Say you might share a room. Maybe this is the time to show the kid that one opportunity of happiness that he may not get, ever.
Yeah.
You might share a room. You might have rooms next door. You might, be changing into your trunks. You might be changing into your bathing suit. I think there's a respect level, even if there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't even want my friends. Like, I wouldn't even want that to even happen. But like, I feel like an outing is fine, or like maybe after graduation, you guys will get pizza, or
why can't you go?
Oh, I can go. I just think I'm okay with like separately
in those situations.
Oh, I'm okay with going. How I view it, I don't want to infiltrate anything with them, because I know for a child's mind, now that I have a child, I can imagine what she would want to see.
Yeah.
That's a thought, and that's imagination. That could not be the case with that kid.
But you also don't want to feed them false.
Yeah, exactly. You need to find a balance, and that's why it's so hard. And that's why a lot of people don't.
That's a hard question.
A lot of people don't really do it well because it's hard. No one knows how to navigate it. But I think I'm open to whatever is best for the child. I trust my partner enough to not do some fuck shit, for lack of a better term. So like, whatever's best for the child in that moment, because kids need different things. And as they get older, you know, they go through different things to like when their parents aren't together. I've never experienced that. So I give grace there because I've never experienced it.
Yeah.
So I give maybe too much grace, maybe not enough grace. I don't know, but I give whatever because I'm like, I never went through it.
Right.
And that's why I'm able to give.
You're trusting your partner to like make the best decision.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense.
So, you know, we try to be better people and better humans and do what's right. Sometimes, you know, we try to do what's best for everybody else.
I am proud of the growth though, because I literally watched you, you know.
Yeah.
I watched that transition for you.
It was hard, but I feel like, listen, that's the partnership. And like, I feel like if I can get through that, I can get through anything. That was such a tough time for me because I was going through my own personal growth.
Yeah.
So I had to grow as Deja and then grow in this not tumultuous really them two, just for me, like for my energy.
So difficult. And you're young. Like, you have to put yourself.
And that's what a lot of it is that a lot of people will tell you don't have to. You know you don't have to, but you do. You almost start feeling like silly. You almost start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
So I found that like, that's where the strength of trusting your decisions comes in. Like, this situation has actually made me a better person.
And weighing your pros and cons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
It really has. Because it gave me a difficult situation. How are you going to show up? And I showed up. I didn't show up that well in the beginning, of course. But like, I feel like it made me trust my decisions. I became an empathetic person. You know, I extend grace to all parties involved. I don't even think about myself. I just don't. Because I know I have the life that is desired. Like, I know, my child's with both parents. We do those things. So if that can't be done for the other child, do it. Run. Like, how can I be a safe space to cultivate that?
Yeah.
So
I love that.
I
love that.
So we're just doing our best out here. You know? We're doing our best, like, you know. But anything you want to add, like trust and commitment and relationships. We're both in like long relationships with kids out here.
I mean, it's difficult. I think that trust is something that you can it's so difficult because you can go through a situation in previous relationships and come into your situation without trust, and that kind of like takes that relationship a certain direction. I think that grace is something that is really, really important when it comes to trust and commitment. Hearing each other and respecting perspectives.
I agree.
And with that will come the trust. I think that it's a daily effort, especially like, you know, when someone is entering a relationship, or maybe there are some things that's happened in the relationship that may have put a damper on that trust. Because people are human, and I'm not talking about cheating. I'm just saying, like, you know, whatever the case may be, maybe a lie. People lie. So maybe a lie, and you know, now you're looking at them different. Now you don't trust them the same way. So I think that just communication and just showing that grace and it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard to trust a whole other human with that like
you do not know and you did not raise.
But not even not knowing them, because and the thing too about the whole knowing thing is like people change. You know what I mean? Like you can know somebody today and then meet a whole new person 5 years. You know,
you'll never fully know someone. Ever.
Their needs change. They're just people change.
I agree.
So it's difficult to put your whole trust in someone. I would say trust yourself.
Yep. That's the key for me.
Trust yourself.
I live my life. Seriously.
And if you don't trust yourself, don't get into any relationships.
Nope.
And
that's right there.
You know, and all you can do is kind of like just take things for what they are, but also, you know, keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to go into things jaded and with a chip on your shoulder, like, oh, I don't trust nobody. And I think it's okay to love freely and then be let down and disappointed by someone else's decisions, because it's not a reflection of you.
No.
No. It's a reflection of, you know, that person and whatever it was that they were going through.
Yeah, I agree. And that comes from knowing yourself too.
Exactly. So if you have that confidence and that trust in yourself and that value for yourself,
I agree.
There's not anything that anyone can do to make you question yourself. and it'll be that much easier to just walk away.
Period. I think the moral of the story, friends, we talked about trust and commitment and relationships. I think the moral of the story is to trust yourself. Then you can display that behavior and receive that.
Yes. Yep. Even when the trust is broken.
Yep.
Period.
Okay. That was a short but goodie.
Yeah.
If you like this episode and like Bay Room overall, please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on at bay.room on Instagram. And Lisa, any last words?
I love y'all.
Love y'all. Thank you.